All right. Hi, family. Good evening. Today, of course, is our Wednesday. You're welcome on Black Hotfire Network. With me, Africa Maria from Uganda. Well, today, today's topic is okay. Let me text the guys from there. Text somebody. Today's topic actually is about Africa's spirituality and how people have a misconception about it, how it used to be, how it is practiced today, and why it is no longer as effective as it used to be. Um, I was born in an era, so I have to make sure that my phone is charging well because I'm using the hotspot. So if it has a problem, that means that I will not have. Let me just dive right into today's discussion. Actually, so spirituality. I'll just break just in a simple way. It's our ancestral way of belief. This is the way Africans today it still exists, but I'm going to say in past tense because the biggest population of Africans no longer believe in that. And if those who do actually go there for the wrong purpose, they practice it in a wrong way, they go to the wrong people, desperation and everything. So I'm going to talk, oof, I bit my tongue. I'm going to talk about African spirituality in a, I'm going to talk about African spirituality in like, it doesn't, like in past tense. It was really sounding during the days of our ancestors before religion was introduced, before Christian cynical rigor, it just cynical rigor, before Christianity or Tagaraka don't care, right? Okay, just don't do that. So during those days, people used to believe in the African way, and we saw like a lot of things happen. And actually, there is one particular story that I would bring on Black Hot Fire Network. Um, and for those who can still search, you can still search about people who are called the Bachwezi people in the Great Lake regions. I want to have this story here on Black Hot Fire Network, but with the native people, with people who are very much experienced about the Bachwezi. In this story, if you look at everything that the Bachwezi used to do, is like the same story that is being told in the Bible about Jesus. So, with that, today we are going to look at African spirituality. People have a big misconception about African spirituality, and some others still practice it not in the right way. They practice it for wrong reasons. They go to wrong people. They believe in African spirituality in a wrong way. Everyone is spiritual. That is the first thing. Unless you're someone who doesn't know how to lift your vibrations, unless you are someone who cannot connect with nature, unless you don't know how to balance your energy. But everyone is spiritual. So this is not an evil thing to talk about. Spirituality isn't an evil thing. First of all, if you're a Christian, still it has got spirituality involved. So, I mean, the moment you talk about African spirituality, the first thing that comes into the African people's mind today is that she's a voodoo person, he's a voodoo. I've never been to voodoo. I've never been to things concerned with dark energy, negative energy, whatever. I may not be an expert into the African spirituality, but one thing I know for sure is that I don't need anyone to tell me, what spirituality is in the right essence. First of all, I, as Maria, I don't even need to go to somebody else. Like, I need you, to do stuff for me. We got all the powers to do this. So this is why I'm saying, so this is why a lot of people have a misconception. First of all, a lot of people are desperate today. That's why we got a lot of fake spiritualists, fake herbalists, all in the name I can do magic, I can do spells. And throughout visiting these other people who have got evil energy around them, people turn out to be disgusting people. You turn out to be a cannibal. You start craving for human flesh. You start craving for doing a lot of evil stuff. Like when other people are sleeping, you are busy around running. You cannot sleep because at night you are connected to that negative energy that works at night, so you cannot sleep. You'll be running around people's houses. Anyhow, I saw a certain video on BBC, I think it was in Kenya, when they were capturing the so-called night dancers. So these people just don't do anything. They just make sure that they just make sure others don't sleep. So that is their evil part. So that means if you do not understand the spirituality, you end up going to the wrong people, doing wrong things for wrong reasons. And of course, not my ancestors, may not be the same. My guardians may not be the same as your guardians. So I don't need to come to your guardians for you to start, I don't know, let me use the word pray, okay? Or for you to pray that they protect me, yet my energy and your guardian's energy does not connect. That means I'm going to a wrong person. And you being a spiritualist or somebody, I'll say a spiritual guide. I hear people saying the witch and doctors. I don't believe in those people, by the way, because all they do, I don't see like they do normal stuff. I feel like they don't do right things. For you to call yourself a witch doctor, you're a witch doctor, whatever. Some other people say being a witch is a bad thing, but the way the dictionary of the British describes the witch is a little bit not so very well connected to spirituality, African spirituality. Actually, I won't read the concept. I don't really believe in that concept. So a lot of people go ahead and during the African traditional days, spiritual leaders were born. They were born, and the parent would know that my daughter is going to be a spiritual leader. My son is going to be a spiritual leader. There was no school where you used to go and somebody starts teaching you what to do unless they're teaching you to be a scammer or something. They were born that way, and their people knew. Because the moment they were born with special powers. They were born with special powers that even at a very young age, they would perform their roles. They would perform their duties as spiritual leaders. Unlike today, you just have to go somewhere, probably have some money. Somebody's going to teach you how to do stuff, to use their scamming stuff. And of course, one thing they know, everybody who is coming, they're looking for, probably, they're like pastors. Just like in churches, every pastor knows that every young girl who is here, every young lady who is here, she wants to get married. Every young girl who is school going wants to pass their exams. Every man who is here and wife probably have marriage problems. So some others the youths are hunting for jobs and everything. So the same thing happens to the ones down here in Africa and probably all over the world, because spirituality does not only uh, occur in Africa, but of course we are talking about Africa. So I may skip mentioning other places. Yeah. So it doesn't mean that I don't know some other people also practice this. So then these people know what to do. They know what people want, to the point that a lot of people have been scammed. People have been scammed. Somebody comes in and then they start pretending like they're talking like the ancestors. There are two people, one is in another room and one is right here. They start doing their crazy. I wish I could go and some of this, but I just fear them bad. They start doing their crazy stuff. You hear somebody talking with another voice. Bro, they usually say, okay, we see that on TV. Somebody will say like granddaughter or grandson or my grandchildren. So that is the voice of the ancestors here. And these are young people hidden somewhere because they know the people who are coming here don't really understand what spirituality is. Now, the fact that a lot of Africans are shying away from spirituality, they don't want to talk about it during broad daylight. They don't want to talk about it. They want to do it in the darkness, and then they fall prey to scammers. They fall prey to those people who don't really understand the matrix. They fall prey to these other people who pretend like they are, spiritual leaders and what have you. One thing, before even you run to somebody else, you have to understand who is your guardian. We all have our spiritual guardians. Sorry, let me see. Sorry. We all have our spiritual guardians. And I thought this was, I guess he's not. We all have our spiritual guardians. And unless you get to know who your spiritual guardian is, you may fall prey to a lot of evil stuff. So, in Africa, when religion was introduced to Africa, a lot of Africans felt like it is so, shameful for you to say you as a spiritual person. But because religion painted spirituality in its own way, painted it black, painted it dark, painted it evil. Like I said at the beginning of this show, that everyone is spiritual. It is a decision you make on your own. How spiritual are you? Because we all have different vibrations. We have different frequency, and our levels are very different. Me, I'm not somebody I'm just someone who does my things anyhow. I'm not so very much deep into some stuff like I do, or I just do my own things, just like my mind tells me to do things. I follow my guts in everything I do. I've not had anybody tell me, you got to do this, or when my gut says don't, I don't. When I'm saying I'm going for something, I go for something. Yeah, I know I've made a lot of mistakes, but I guess it is normal for life and in life. But I'm somebody, you know, that I believe I have my own part of a spiritual gift, because each of us has their own spiritual gift. You may be having a gift of seeing. You foresee things before they happen. It could be through your dreams or through just little flashes. You be like right now I'm talking, I just get drift off and I experience something and it really happens. And maybe through that dreams, as I'm sleeping, I dream about stuff and they happen. You can also look, just look at somebody and you like, I think I saw this person do something like that. And then you again, as you pass, you see those very people doing what you saw before. You know, as I was growing up, I used to see these things. And at times I say, is it my mind playing me or something? Because like I saw this person do this very thing before. I've seen this person now. And I was always telling my mom this thing. So, you know, so I was like, and then you go to sleep. Sometimes you dream about something, like really, and it happens. So those are gifts. Those are spiritual gifts. You don't need to be a born again or a saved person or a Catholic, whatever religion it is, you know, you have or you follow, for you to have that. That is a spiritual thing that people are born with. Naturally, that is that gift you're given. There are those ones who are given gifts through their tongue. The word they speak, whether they are speaking false, whether they are speaking truth, whether they are, people love to listen to them. Like, I may be here sitting and probably I'm speaking, you know, false, but you see, like everyone just loves to listen to what I'm saying. That is also a gift. And unfortunately, some people don't really realize their gifts and they misuse them. They misuse their gifts. Probably now because, you know, people will be like, you know what, Maria, people just believe in what Maria says, you know, even if she's speaking false, even if she's speaking bad about people. But if you realize that the moment you speak something, people believe in you, why don't you start speaking positivity? Because, of course, you know you have a gift. People are going to listen to you. And then some other people will be having another. Everyone has different spiritual gifts. Somebody maybe probably they are so kind and their kindness touches people's hearts, not by doing some practical stuff, because kindness is a frequency. I don't believe like kindness is all about me coming to you and give you some stuff, probably you're sick or whatever. You can look at a kind person even before they open their mouth. You will just know that this person is kind. Now, there are those people who have got that vibration. They have got that frequency that comes out of them, the kindness. So each of us has their own spiritual gifts. So talking about spirituality isn't evil. Talking about spirituality does not mean you're going to do voodoo, you're going to practice other things. I have a friend of mine one time told me, you know what, Maura? You know, I was in a relationship with this lady, and all I saw was you know, like she was doing some voodoo, some voodoo, voodoo, whatever. There is nothing. There is nothing like voodoo that is going to bring a man or is going to keep a man. And always they tell you one thing. At least I followed some so-called spiritual people on TikTok, YouTube, and other places. The first thing they say, if you're going to request something, you should request that thing wholeheartedly. Don't think about something else. Don't think about somebody else. That means even this paper they are making you touch is just something probably to make you concentrate on what you want. But you, as a person, you are the one creating this. It is not this person you have gone to. Okay, you've come to Maria, and then Maria is going to say, let me do this for you. No, these people I see, they ask you to do things by yourself. That means it is you. It is you has got the energy to proclaim whatever thing you want. And there is no voodoo. Me, I don't believe. Unless you are doing this voodoo to somebody who has a very weak spirit. There is no voodoo that can keep a man or a woman in a relationship. Even if it does, this thing will still evaporate and people will go back to, you know, to their usual life. Because in a relationship we got our ups and downs, and the moment your vibration, the moment your frequency does not balance, things go wrong. The same thing that happens. So Africans have always had a misconception, and most of them go to these spiritual leaders for wrong reasons and for, for purposes. First of all, you want to go, somebody has told you, I see a lot actually on Facebook, like others saying that we give riches, wealth, we are going to give you wealth, we are going to give you riches. Nobody has the powers to give you that unless you're selling your soul. Unless you're selling your own soul. That's why there is always something that says, oh, some celebrities, I always read the comments of people like, she sold her soul, he sold her soul to the devil. You sell your soul. There's nobody. You sell your soul and your soul works for you. Okay? There's nobody who's going to give you riches. It is you who's going to give you riches. By you're selling your soul, so that your soul can hustle for you, so that your soul can be made, can be enslaved to practice whatever it is you want to practice to get riches. That means people be seeing you're walking soulless when your soul was put, or when your soul was united with some other, spirits. But each of us has the power and the right to uplift our spirit and our spirituality to our own desires, to fit our own desires, as long as you do things right. So there is this video I saw of Nigerians actually. So this guy went, I think, to a witch doctor. That's how they call them here. And that he wanted to be rich. And they gave him the powers to be rich. He became rich. And then what happens in the end is, after being rich, of course, they told him to come back and bring a goat. I think it was a goat. I think it was a sacrifice, something for sacrifice. And he did not come back. So I think they did some stuff, and his body, he slumbered. Because when you're going to these evil people, they take your spirit, they use your soul. That's why people usually say they sold their souls to the devil, blah, blah, blah. You surrender your soul, because it is the soul that, this body is just a vessel, but it is the spirit, it is the soul that is me. Okay? My body is just a vessel. So you sell your soul and allow those people use your soul for their own, whatever they want, actually, for you to get. In return, you're paid. If your soul is going to be used in whichever way you don't understand, but for you, you'll be getting salary. Down here. So that's why most people say, so and so sold their soul to the devil. So this guy slumbered and maybe died. So he was carried in a casket. What is? He was carried in a casket, and they took him to wherever he got the riches from. And this witch doctor was telling the family, it happened in Nigeria actually, was telling the family of this young man that he was supposed to come back and sacrifice something, but he did not. So we are going to make him work. We are going to make him work and pay the debt. In other words, this guy, his body was dead, but his spirit was not dead. We've seen these other things happen all over. Some weird stuff can happen. Sometime back, long ago, even before I was born, my mom told me a story that there's some particular kind of people actually who used to practice some spirituality. If like a man sees me and admires me like Maria, and probably he cannot say he wants me or he wants to marry me, I will be moving like on a road. If I meet that man, I bypass him, I will meet that man again in front. Okay, the spirit shifters. I'll see this man again, and I keep seeing this man again until I may even reach. As soon as I'm about to even reach home, I may even see this man again. Now, this man is bringing himself forward before me as I'm continuing my journey. I still meet him because he still wants to look at me. And these things used to happen. And sometimes somebody may come around, and as you're sleeping, they take your spirit. And they can either choose to return your spirit or keep your spirit. So this is true. This has happened in Africa. Some people have the powers to do that, to remove your spirit from your body, more especially if your spirit is very weak. So some others will be sleeping, they remove their spirit from their body, and then their people will be like, he's dead, he's gone. That's why some cultures actually don't bury their people so very fast. They first keep them for some time, probably their spirit may come back. But if they take your spirit away, your body still remains soft and warm, and people will be like, their body is not cold, but they are dead because their heart is not beating. They are not breathing, but their body is warm. Their body is soft. They can even throw their arm like, you know, they are not stiff. They are very soft. And people will be like, they are dead. So my mom tells me a story of this girl she was studying with at school. They were at that time, of course, the missionaries had brought schools. She was studying in a missionary school at that time. And so I guess they used to bring people from different places. So this teacher like felt for this girl. And the girl started complaining of headache, like, I have headache, I have headache. She goes ahead and dies. So they carry this girl, and they go and bury her. The next day they find when the graves are open, like somebody took her body. Her body was not there. So people were like, maybe what has happened to her body? Everyone say what they wanted to say. But after a certain, after a very long time, one of this girl's relative finds the lady somewhere. She had even given birth. She's carrying babies, village life. And, this other man was like, is she not so-and-so? Is this not the daughter of so-and-so actually who we buried at the school teacher's home? Okay. So the lady ran and hid because they cut they don't allow these spirits to connect with the people they knew. When they shift your spirit, they command your soul, the spirit, to obey. So this lady ran and entered that man's house. When people gathered, they were like, the man was like, if you want to take her, you are going to take her when she's dead. If you want her to be alive, let her be here, because she cannot come back there anymore. So the people had to leave their daughter, stay there. And that was those days, long time ago, when there was no law where you were going to report about stuff. So what? And first of all, people were very scared, like, what is this? This is a new thing. They were afraid of it. And then there was another story of a priest. They made a priest turn into a farmer from the parish. So these things really used to happen. These spiritual things used to happen. So a lot of people end up doing wrong things. First of all, Africans no longer preach about true spirituality. And people always hide the truth about this. We've seen even a lot of pastors, all these miraculous pastors who also go to spiritualists. We have seen a lot. I saw one of a Ghanaian spiritual, is it witch doctor? Let me call him that, who came to the pastors, and because that pastor was always condemning Africa's spirituality, so he came and he says, "I'm the one who gives you the powers to perform all those miracles. You are healing the sick, you are healing the dead. Sorry, you are healing the sick, and all those miracles you're performing, I'm the one who gave you the powers to practice that. And then you go ahead and start insulting us who are doing spirituality and all that." The guy came out in broad daylight, and the pastor was so very ashamed. And even he asked the pastors, whoever feels like I'm lying, whoever pastor feels like they have the guts to face me, let them face it. And nobody was facing him, because the truth remains, they still practice African spirituality in the darkness. And this is the problem now Africans are facing, because you cannot hide away. If you start doing the things in the dark, that means you're going to fall prey to these predators who pretend like they are the sangomas, the ones who pretend. We have had a lot, in fact, like a lot of Ugandans who travel to South Africa, because South Africans love those, staffs a lot. A lot of them, they just know how to shake their tradition, their calabashes, shaking their traditional calabashes and doing their scam. And South African and Ugandans are getting rich out of that practice. But if you're somebody who understands your spirituality, you cannot be scammed, because you don't need to go to somebody else. You have the powers. Jibby Jabba's, guardians cannot be mine. Dwight Davidson's guardians cannot be mine. I have my own guardians. They are my guardians for my own reasons. They are my guardians. You keep these guardians because of your own energy. The kind of energy that reflects in you, the kind of energy that you project, the kind of energy that you bring out is the kind of guardians you're going to have. If you're somebody who has negative energy around you all the time, of course, there are those ancestors who are negative. There are those guardians who are always negative. They'll always be by your side. If you're somebody who is kind, you're going to have that kindness around you. That's what people always, even in the chat, they be preaching about. You do things right if you want to yield a good thing. It is not about those people telling you. It's not about the what Jesus telling you, but it is just natural. It is just a command of nature. What you do, what you sow is what you harvest, is what you reap, in other words. So there is nothing like, when the pastor told me that, what are you saying? It is just the law of nature. You don't expect to have positive energy when you're filled with negativity all over. You don't expect to have the guardians of light when you're filled with darkness. You don't expect that. You don't expect to have kindness in your home when you're filled with people who are full of hate. And the energy around you defines the guardians you have. So I cannot come around, okay, hey, you know what, Dwight Davidson, I've had you a spiritualist. I've come for you to help me proclaim such kind of stuff. I want this and that. How sure are you that the energy Jibby Jabba has is going to connect your energy? And who gave Jibby Jabba the rights, first of all, to lighten your guardians? You collected those guardians around you. You collected them. You collected those people around you. So you are the one who has the right to enkindle them. And you don't need to go to any sangoma, whatever witch doctor or spirituality, unless you are up to, I see some other stuff that somebody has stolen my things, so I'm going to a witch doctor. Or I see when some other people do some voodoos, people be having, if their spouses are cheating on them, their P's and the D's get stuck together and boom, they're the ones who have the power to separate. That's another different kind of I don't even want to call that spirituality. So this is a misconception some people have. That has got nothing to do with spirituality, actually. Those kind of activities. And then you don't come around and I'm coming to you, somebody did something wrong and I want to pay back. You will. Sorry, you will come for me to do something, probably for me to give them a payback. You're not the one who has the powers to do that. It is not Jesus either, first of all. Nature is going to do it. Just karma does that. But if you decide to take the powers in your hand and you do that same thing, that means the cycle is going to be continuous. You will still reharvest it because you have taken that duty which is not yours. It is not in your power to make them pay. The law of nature is going to make them pay. But if I chose that now, Danny Harrison has done this, I'm going to make her pay. I will definitely make her pay. Whatever. I'm going to a spiritualist or whatever I'm going to. That means I've taken the powers. I've taken the role of somebody else. I've taken the role of nature. And I want to pay. I want to make Danny Harrison pay. That means karma is still going to work on me. It's going to rotate. The game is going to rotate. It's going to be a continuous cycle. Okay, because whatever we do, we have to pay, whether it is good or bad. It is up to you. It is up to us. If you want to do good, all right. If you want to do bad, fine. But whatever we do, we have to pay. Sooner or later, whichever way, we are definitely 100% going to pay for whatever. Danny Harrison, thank you for coming through. Life is about balance. Exactly. Okay. Duality principle. That means you must have control over peace and evil. That means in your own life as well. This principle derives from the idea that we are all human, meaning not perfect. You just have to know how and when to regulate this principle in a way that it benefits not only you, but the people and the environment around you. African science at its finest. Thank you so much, Danny Harrison. Thank you so very much. Those were great points. Thank you very much for those great comments. And I hope my brothers and sisters will read those comments. And it is true. So we got the energy you collect around you has a very huge impact on your life. Before now, in Africa's spiritual system, before religion was introduced, I have a friend who usually asks me that, Maria, how did you know all this? I mean, there is what we call homeschooling in Africa. And as children grow, you ought to teach them the truth about their ancestors. And of course, sounds simple enough, but when you ponder it, it's very deep. Danny Harrison, you seem to love this. Thank you for coming through. Let's enjoy this topic today. So, before, the first spiritual guardian of a man was his wife in African traditional society. Before you get married, your spiritual guardian was your mother. Starting from the process of your mother keeping you in their womb, proclaim and even probably have dreams of what you're going to be, and probably know. Sometimes, mothers at the time will be like, he's going to be a strong boy. Oh, she's a smart girl. She's looking at her belly. She's proclaiming this unto you. And whatever she feels like she wants her son to be. Because women were creators. And nowadays, women do not really do this. They do not really believe in this. But a mother and her tongue had a very huge impact onto her unborn child and even her children, till to death, by the way. You be calling your children dumb, whatever it is, and the children end up turning to that a mother calls them. Because you have the power to create. You have the powers of creation. So it was normal for African mothers during those days to proclaim whatever they want their children to be. I want you to be a strong boy. You have to be smart. You have to take care of your family and everybody around. And they'll give you their responsibilities. And even before you are born, they already have a name with a meaning that they want you to carry on. So this was African style. You see. So after these children were born, your mother raises you and you become, your father teaches you how men are supposed to be. Your mother teaches you, kindness and other stuff. And then you go meet your wife. From your mother, even your mother puts blessings to your wife, because she's officially handing her son over to somebody else's daughter. And she's officially giving her the role of being both your mother and also a wife to you. And that's why in history, in African tradition, actually, men before warriors went to war, they used to practice some other traditional practices that I would call them like how should I call them? How do these religious people call those things? I don't know how I'm gonna call this. But they used to practice something like a ritual. Let me call it a ritual. They used to practice a ritual, and this ritual was only made by married men. That's when you're going into war. And this ritual was through having sex and everything. That means the survival of a black warrior in the battlefield depended on the wife. The survival of a warrior in the battlefield depended 95% on the wife. So you see how black women were very important in the African society. And then women would stay back because their men would tell them that at this and this time, we are going to be doing this. We are going to attack these people in such an area. So what would women do? According to my tradition, there is what they call simsim. Yeah, but I don't know if you guys know simsim. I don't know how they call it in another way. Well, they are very tiny, tiny stuff. Some people can eat them like snack or something, but they are planted in farms, and we call them simsim here. So women would have that simsim, and they would be, cooking that simsim on fire as their husbands on the battlefield. And the simsims will be busting. You find women everywhere doing that when they know their husbands are on the battlefield. The moment you hear them popping, they do pop like popcorn. You know they're alive. It goes on popping a little bit. Now they are dying. They could communicate through the thing. And women would know, even when they get victory, they would know through the cooking methods back at home. Women are spiritually connected with their husbands in the battlefield. They are getting the information through what they are cooking, and in the end, children are going to eat what they are cooking. So you see how Africa was so very connected with nature. And that's why they respected almost everything that came with nature, because they used it positively in different ways. Though Africans practice spirituality differently according to their, traditions and other stuff. Now that little one I told you about was mine, So women would know our husbands have gone out to the battlefield, so we're gonna do this. They start roasting it on a hot pan on fire. The moment it start popping, time and again, they know their men are winning. This is victory. If it stops popping or it reduces, they know they are losing. And it is just a normal thing. But through the connection, of course, of a husband and a wife, and this is how the circle is. When a baby is born, someone dies. So there will be no creation without destruction. Duality principle again. Danny Harrison. Whew. That is great. Thank you for that great comment. Oh, you seem to be somebody who loves spirituality. So, she's saying that when a baby, she says that when a baby is born, someone dies. So there will be no creation without this destruction, duality principle. That's why in Africa, death is something to celebrate. Actually, it is something to celebrate, unlike today. But death was something that was to be celebrated in Africa society. And today, actually, I feel like a lot of Africans are so very much filled with the negative frequency and, sorry, a negative energy, and they have, you know, um, everything around them not working well, in because they do not really understand how this whole thing works. They don't understand because most people are shying away. I cannot be telling my children this. Probably they're going to find it so evil. What is evil about the truth? You're not killing nobody. You are not doing something to sabotage people's will. Because I don't believe in anything that has got nothing to do with me. I don't believe in you playing with other people's mind and then you think it is a positive thing. I don't believe in those others who think, you know, I'm someone who reacts to things so very, very fast. And, we got powers straight. Somebody, I'm somebody who, some people think though I'm picky, but I always have reasons why I don't mingle with like a lot of people. The moment I just feel like my energy is not connecting, it's not a crime. It's not a crime. It's not a crime for me to be on Black Hot Fire Network and then somebody says, I just don't like watching Maria. I don't know why. It is okay. Our energy is not connecting, which is normal. You have got a different energy. I got a different one. So me, I don't go ahead like I'm blaming people. Why don't you like me? Why must you like me after all? The same. I mean, just look at somebody and I'm like, I don't know why. I'm just not connecting. It's not that I don't like you. It's not that I hate you. It's not that I wish you bad. It's just that we are not really connecting. Okay. I just look at you as a normal person. Fine, you're doing your thing. I'm not even attracted to whatever you're doing because our energy is not connecting. And I know a lot of people experience that, though we so very much try to force our connection so very much, probably because we think, we can, we have some stuff, or we are being attracted probably by something we want from you, and then we forcefully try to connect our energy around to make it work. It can never work if your energy is so opposite. You can never work. Friendship, relationship, anything can never work if your energy is not connected. I found that in life, sometimes it's better to think about how two opposites complement each other as opposites to how they are so different. You know, yeah, you know, warfare is destruction in nature. Women support because if their men win, they will benefit through safety, more resources, ensuring the survival of her child. And they were the ones who really needed this. And, that's why it was a role of an African woman to, make sure that their husbands come home safe and sound, even if they were not physically in the battlefield. So a lot of African women today don't really understand their role. Now today we may not have battlefields, but we are looking at probably a woman who is home and maybe she are not working, and you're, your husband is going out there for whatever reason, and still you're the one to fight for that and make sure that he wins whatever he's going to. Women are fighting silent wars for their husbands unknowingly. And then when the church comes in, will tell you, pray for your husband. If you have a prayerful woman, that is not spirituality, except that you are looking at it in a white man's way. That's why everything, even religion, they say, believe. The moment you believe wholeheartedly, you got what you want. If you don't believe, nothing can happen. Not even in the church, not even where. If you do not believe. So belief is the number one activator of reaction. It's the number one activator of reaction, more especially when it comes to spirituality. So that's why even in churches, they say, you have to believe. Do you believe that this is going to work for you? That means they're initiating you in their cult. They're initiating you in that thing. You have to wholeheartedly believe that they are, whatever they believe in will work for you. You have to believe. So this is also a cult. Religion is actually also a cult. So we will be looking at African spirituality or spirituality like an evil thing, and this European system is just good. It is also because you have to believe. If you don't believe in it, that's why they make you swear. That's why they make you, they take you through all those processes of joining their cult. I found that in life sometimes it's better to think about how two opposites complement each other as opposed to how they are so different. When it comes to energy, we may have opposite energy. We may have opposite. You don't need to be like me for you to be attracted. We may have opposite energy, but when we are attracted, when our energy is attracted to each other, that means if you are somebody who has got good positive energy, positive vibes, positive energy, and everything's positive, no matter how differently it is, but as long as it is positive, it's definitely going to attract each other. It is definitely going to be, attractive. You will find peace. You will complement each other in your opposite ways because you have one significant common goal is your positivity, the goodness. There is no way bad. Yeah, I know probably bad yields some good and good yields some bad, but there is no way a very, very negative energy can be attracted to a positive energy, because in most of the cases, negative is done for. Negative is done for unless someone who has a positive energy willingly accepts this negative energy with hope to abide and probably bring change about the soul that they are trying to connect with the hope that they are going to bring light into the soul of this person that they willingly want to connect with. You know, Danny Harrison, thank you so very much for those great, great comments. And I know Keith will be wanting to come in the studios with Joey. And for now, I'll say, guys, thank you so very much, more especially Danny Harrison. Thank you so very much for dropping all those comments. Thank you very much for loving Black Hot Fire Network. And for those who will watch my replay, thank you so very much, guys, for supporting our channel and also loving to watch Africa Maria. It has been a great moment and great, strong, discussion with Danny Harrison. I think I'll follow you on your YouTube, on your Facebook. So really think we have a lot to share about spirituality. I guess I have a lot to learn from you. You seem to be somebody who loves African spirituality, I will follow you on Facebook. If you see Africa Maria, very interesting conversation. Yeah. So when you see Africa Maria Mpenzi, just please accept my request. I guess I'll find there some piece of wisdom, of course. And but it has been a pleasure having you here, Danny Harris, signing in. I'm looking forward probably no, she's still learning. Yeah, of course. Same here. Same here. But I'm not. I don't know. I'm learning because learning never ends. But me, I usually speak from experience, and the experience of and having been around a lot of elders and discussions I usually have with elders, so I get to learn a lot when I discuss with these elders. But still, guys, like I said, if anyone can still go and research about the people who are called the Bachueses, I'm looking forward to having a very good topic about the Bachuese people. If you look at the story of the Bachuese people, it is the same story like the story of Jesus in the Bible, actually. But I really don't like to be on Facebook like that, but okay. Yeah. I don't know, but still, I'll send you, I guess. So, you know, uh, until then, this time around, the Bachuezi story, I'm still gathering. At least I want to acquire enough knowledge about it. Though I have some knowledge that I can take me 1 hour that I'm always here on Black Hotfire Network. But I'm still trying to connect with an elderly person who has a very, very good conversation about the Bachuezi people that happened right here. There were people who used to perform miracles, and actually, if you look at the story of these people, it's the exactly story of like Jesus, because they did like a lot of things, and people still believe in them till today, more especially those traditional people. But for those who have just come in, I'm sorry, I'm done with my show. Thank you very much, Danny Harrison. Again, maybe if I send you a friend request here. Yeah. But I don't mind. My Facebook is a little bit crazy. So don't mind about it. Just don't mind about it. What's cool. Well, okay. No, my network is not, but I will not. The moment you see me, just know. The moment you see Africa Maria, just know that me. Okay, I'll send you a request soon because now I'm having an issue with my network connection. Thank you guys for loving Black Hot Fire Network and always sticking with us no matter the weather. This is Black Hot Fire Network, Africa Maria from Kampala, Uganda. See you tomorrow, same time. Love you. Ciao, ciao. Okay, dear.